Well, welcome to today's rant. and the news from the coast is the water is still rising down there. As we've been sharing for days now, the real catastrophe of Hurricane Florence wouldn't be known by many people until days, even a week or so after the actual storm. And it's still pretty bad on the coast. We also, though, have gotten news from some of the coast and gotten aerial shots, from drones and all of our beach, our house down there, some of our property in Wilmington. We have a church there and all. We still don't know the condition there. Main thing we know is all of our people are good. And if anything's lost, it's been stuff. And that's painful. That's costly and a problem, but much rather lose stuff than people. And right now it looks like our personal house down there, we have a beach home we own with another family, and it came out pretty well. Looks like just minor damage. Our pier got torn up pretty bad, but that's stuff. So I'll be going down and starting some cleanup this weekend, and but also I'm going to be trying to go around Wilmington to take some aid and help some people down there that are in the real disaster area. It's still unfolding. Some of the rivers are still just now peaking down there from the floods, and it's pretty bad. But everything's an opportunity, and we rebuild better. That should be our attitude in everything in life. If we experience setbacks and all, we determine, well, we're going to retake that ground and do it better this time. But still appreciate all the incredibly generous donations for the relief down there. And that's one of the main reasons I'm going down there this weekend. I have to check on our own property, but also to distribute that relief where I think it's needed best. And whenever we do something like that, we get all kinds of requests and all, and I just have to check. I don't want to pay for something out of relief money that the insurance is going to cover. I don't want to pay for things that were really not damaged by the hurricane, but people just want fixed. I mean, we could, we've learned you've just got to go down there and eyeball stuff. And but we made a commitment to you that 100% of what you donate to us will get to the actual needs. And because we don't even take out our expenses for going down and doing it or anything like that. That's our part to contribute. But I want to be sure it gets to actual hurricane relief and the places where it should go. But anyway, thank you again. I know it's still, many of you are still sending us donations and all, and trust me, it will be used, and it will be used rightly. So, but also, just wanted to make mention again, of course, the main thing in our national news right now is the Judge Kavanaugh issue, with the woman coming out and accusing him of trying to rape her when they were in high school. And so far, there doesn't seem to be any real collaboration at all for that story. Certainly not enough to hold up in court to meet the standard of, required by court, that, that it is beyond reasonable doubt. Right now, the doubt is huge and growing. And, you know, it seems like many are starting to think that she's sincere. She really thinks this happened, but she's got him mixed up with somebody else. It's just a case of mistaken identity. Could be, you know, under trauma like that, if a young girl's traumatized like that, no telling what. And it was at a party, she could have been drinking, you know, all kinds of things. She could be really sincere, but wrong. And of course, anytime there is a, you know, an incident like this, somebody is the victim. And, you know, one of the most traumatic things a person can go through is sexual assault. And it can wreck your life. It can wreck their lives. It can, you know, it just does incredible damage, usually. And that's why it is one of the most serious crimes that we are, you know, is taken the most seriously. And no question it needs to be. On the other side, to be falsely accused of something is, you know, can also destroy your life. Not only that, your families, your friends, your profession, your, you know, livelihood. I mean, it can really destroy you. So it's serious. You know, you have to take the accusation serious. It's such a serious thing. But you also want to be sure that this is true. The case of Juanita Hill and Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, when it all worked out, she had a lot of people verifying her side of it, either saying she had talked to him about it or whatever, and he had many verifying his side of the story. And it turned out that everyone who knew the accuser, Juanita Hill, and did not know Clarence Thomas, sided with her. Everyone who knew Clarence Thomas but did not know Juanita Hill sided with him. Everyone who knew both of them, this is interesting, every one of the witnesses who knew both of them sided with him. Every single one of them. So, you know, even to this day, though, that's, you know, it's something that Clarence Thomas has to carry, Juanita Hill has to carry, you know, and it just was never resolved right. Well, you know, it is hard in this world to get things right, especially in relationship to justice. And our justice system has melted down. It has become so dysfunctional now that, I mean, it is really tragic the way so many guilty go free and the way so many innocent are wrongly indicted, wrongly convicted. And the whole system is in need of reform. And I think that's one word we've got to start talking about in relationship to our government, and especially the whole system of justice. And it would be radical reformation to go back to the Constitution. And as I've been saying for years, I think every one of our major problems is a result of us abandoning or disregarding the Constitution. And the answer to many of our problems and the dysfunctional justice system and government right now is the answer is to return to the Constitution. The incredible and I believe divinely inspired wisdom given to us at our founding. And but you have to read it, you have to know it. Right now, I think we probably got at least half. I would, you know, this is an assumption, but it would not shock me at all if half of our Supreme Court justices had never read the Constitution. Wouldn't shock me one bit. I'm almost certain you could say that about our Congress and about everything, and our lawyer, our personal lawyer, ministry lawyer, he took constitutional law. Never one time did they refer to the Constitution. They, the whole thing was about judicial precedent, not going back and linking to the foundational document, but what is precedent. And let's stay within precedent. Why? We've had so many precedents that were so wrong and had to be corrected. Supreme Court decisions that were diabolical. Like the one that basically determined that slaves were not human beings, that they were property. That was just diabolical. And we would not have had the Civil War because we would not have had slavery if we had lived by the Constitution from the beginning. And that's why a lot of minorities today that have been in our country for generations, who are from generations of Americans but were former slaves, they say, look, the Constitution didn't work for us. It was only for the white people. It was only for the landowners, and they didn't use it for it. It didn't apply to us. And that's true. It was not applied to them. We would have never had slavery. It says right in our Declaration of Independence, all men are created equal. And then becoming, not believing that so as to live by it, I think is what caused our Civil War. And so many other things. Well, I'm saying now, I made your answer. Let's go back and live by these things. And it does ensure justice for all. It ensures everybody gets treated fairly, and that everybody is given equal opportunity, and that no group is favored above another. And one of the reasons why you hear say that we're a republic and not a democracy. Every true democracy that tried to be a democracy, like they did after the French Revolution, failed miserably. And not only failed miserably, untold thousands of people were killed. And democracy, who was it? I think it was John Adams said democracy is two wolves and a lamb voting on what to have for lunch. And where the majority always rules. The majority's not always right. Matter of fact, sometimes you could say through long periods of time, it has seldom been right. The same crowd that said, Hosanna, blessed is he, comes in the name of the Lord, welcoming Jesus to Jerusalem, is the same crowd that just 5 days later were saying, crucify him. And that's why our founders, with their wisdom, established a democratic republic. Well, yeah, your vote counts. You vote for your representatives, but they're the ones who make the laws. And they're not going to be, hopefully, supposedly would not be so subject to just the whims, public opinion, and things like that, which can shift so violently and so fast, just like it did in the case of Jesus. No, where they would hold a steady course and adjust as needed, but when it's really figured out what is the right course to go from here. It's kind of what it is. So I'm just saying, just talking today, getting ready for our meeting tonight about, micro church, small groups, home groups, things like that. I am so excited about this meeting. I know, it's going to be one of our smallest ever, which was what we wanted. This is about small groups. We're looking for the small group leaders and those who want to lead small groups. I think is one of the most important strategies for the coming Great Awakening and a revival, not just in America, but everywhere. We see that being a basis of how powerful the early church was. They met in the temple, they had the big meeting, but they also met house to house. And there is a major reason why we need both of those, and that's what we'll be discussing tonight. So if you're around the area, come see us or check it out on Facebook or MorningStar TV, any of these outlets. And but I am so excited. I haven't been this excited about a conference in a long time, and we're having some of the greatest times, greatest conferences ever, and I absolutely love them. Love being at them. Love, you know, just meeting so many people there and everything, but as well as hearing what God is speaking to so many others. But this one seems to be special to me. And I am so looking forward to it. Anyway, I'll quit rambling. Thank you for joining today's rant.